Happy New Year, guys. Happy 2026. I honestly cannot believe that we're already into the start of the new year. Like, how quickly last year went is honestly so scary. I hope everyone had the best New Year's. I do feel like a lot of people chilled, like doing things for New Year's this year. So I don't really know many of my friends that actually went out or went out to the clubs or to the bar or anything like that. I think a lot of people generally had a chilled out New Year's Eve. And I love those types of New Year's because you can actually wake up in the morning on the 1st of Jan and not feel severely hungover and you can actually get stuff done. And you kind of start the new year off in a good way. Yes, you can go and have a few drinks like for New Year's Eve, whether that's like chilling at home or with if you're with a few friends and stuff. But waking up the next morning and not being hungover is honestly like chef's kiss. The amount of New Year's Eves that I have been totally wasted and the next morning was not fun. It probably doesn't give a good like intention for the year ahead, if that kind of makes sense. But I'm kind of still drinking out my Christmas mugs right now because I refuse to say to myself the truth, and that is that Christmas is over. And it's really sad because Christmas is like one of my favorite times of year, and we still have the Christmas tree up, and it's currently Saturday the 3rd of Jan. We've still got that up, and we're probably going to take it down either today or tomorrow, but I really don't want to. Like, it's so nice right now where it is in our living room, and we don't have anything to fit in the corner because we used to have the TV down there, and now that we put the TV on the wall, we have like this huge space in the living room, and I feel like when the Christmas tree goes, it's going to look really bare. So we're going to have to figure that out. I mean, we could put a beanbag in there for now, but other than that, there was literally nothing else that will go there. So I think we're going to have to think about that. We might even get, basically with our furniture in our living room, they do like a corner set. So we might get like a little corner set and maybe put a cabinet in there, because I've always wanted to have like one of those cabinets where it's glass and you can open it, or you can put like really nice kind of, I don't know, champagne glasses in there or really nice wine glasses, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not too sure, but we've got to do something with it. Otherwise, it's going to be really plain Jane and boring. So yeah, anyways, Happy New Year. The podcast today is just going to be a little bit about New Year's resolutions, kind of things to look forward to in the new year, and just things that I'm going to be kind of taking on throughout the year for myself, and maybe something might spark a bit of inspiration, a bit of motivation for yourself, because I really want my year this year to be really focused. I want it to be really motivating, and because I do feel like recently I've maybe been getting a bit lazy, and not in terms of fitness and going to the gym and stuff, because I've always been quite consistent with that. I probably go to the gym maybe 4 or 5 times a week. It's not that. It's more of like procrastination when it comes to my work, my personal branding, my mindset, that sort of thing. So I feel like for me, 2026, I really want to kind of hone in on that and just go for it and not be too scared and not be fearful, and to actually put in the effort to create, because I feel like over the Christmas period, I took a really long break and I did work a little bit over Christmas, which I probably shouldn't have done, but that's fine. I don't mind working a little bit, but I really did take a break. I feel like I managed to sit back and relax. And even just like looking back at my hair is proper stuck in my earring right now. One sec. There we go. It was proper through the hoop. That's so funny. But yeah, so I feel like my focus was solely on relaxing and actually taking a break and taking a breather. And I feel like I did do that this Christmas, but a little bit too much. I mean, can you relax too much over Christmas? I don't think you can. But I do think I needed that and my body needed it. And the amount of sleep that I got over this Christmas period is crazy. There were some nights I was sleeping for probably like 10 to 12 hours. I was going to bed at like, let's say 9 o'clock and waking up at 9, or I was going to bed at 11 and waking up at 11 or 10 in the morning. So I was getting good night's sleep, which is always good. And the one thing that is a little bit frustrating when that happens is that I tend to not be in my 5 a.m. waking up consistent times type thing. So before the Christmas period, I was really getting to the routine of waking up at 5 a.m. and doing like some mindfulness, some meditation, some yoga, reading my book and journaling and my gratitude. Like I had it's basically like my morning mindfulness hour or two that I have before I start work and stuff. And when I don't have that in the mornings, my whole day can be a little bit chaotic and it doesn't feel stable, if that kind of makes sense. Like I feel like I've messed it up before it's even started in terms of my day, which I shouldn't feel like that. I'm probably being too hard on myself. But because throughout the Christmas period, I was waking up late and going to bed late and hosting and socializing and stuff like that, I'm completely out of my routine. Yeah, that's something that I really want to get back into. I've been getting up about 6 o'clock in the morning the past few days. So I'm going to slowly start to like move that backwards to 5 because I do feel like when I do get up at 5 a.m., my day and my life is just so organized and focused. But yeah, that's one thing that I'll be bringing back into the new year because the Christmas period was a lot of resting. And like I said, I feel like I was getting a little bit too lazy in terms of scrolling. I was doing a lot more consuming than I was creating. And now that we're into the new year, I've kind of kicked myself back into gear. And I'm actually currently doing a 30-day beginner's guide or like a kind of blueprint to buying your first house if you're kind of in the UK. So that's just kind of me talking through all the steps throughout the house buying process from start to finish and doing a different video every single day because I feel like 10 minutes sounds like a long time for a TikTok video, right? But with my very first one, I think 1% of people that have watched the video have watched it all the way through and it's nearly 10 minutes long. And I think it's got like 1,600 views on it right now. So like that's 160 people that have watched it all the way through. So for me, I feel like I'm giving value and like people are going to want to listen to it. So that's what I'm doing for this Jan. So it's basically like a mini series. And hopefully that's going to help people that have no clue about the house buying process and they can literally watch it from start to finish if they wanted to, if they want like a deep dive into the house buying process. So that's something that I'm kind of creating at the moment. I am kind of tapping into things that I already know and wanting to kind of give people advice, education, tips, and just things to watch out for so they don't go through the same stuff that we did. And, you know, because we've been through the process ourselves, I'm able to do that. So why wouldn't I? And yeah, I do feel like sometimes I get in like creative ruts where I really struggle with content ideas and like I feel like it's quite forcing, like I'm forcing ideas or it doesn't feel like my own, it doesn't feel authentic, so I don't do them. And then if I don't do them, I don't end up posting anything. But I think when it comes to TikTok especially, I have to be in free flow. And for me, sitting down with my camera and just talking to camera, that is where I get the most kind of energy and that's where I can like be myself the most, if that makes sense. Whereas I don't get me wrong, I love a vlog video and I love watching them and I do try to do vlogs every now and again. But my bread and butter and the way I like to kind of get my point across and talk is literally by getting my camera and talking like this. So that's what I've done throughout my whole TikTok journey. And obviously people have joined me along the way. And that's what I'm doing right now because I can talk. So yeah, I'm going to try and stick with that on TikTok and talk about the house buying process, just kind of go from there really. One area as well that I want to kind of hone in on a little bit more is my Instagram. My Instagram is just a mixture of my UGC. I want it to kind of be more towards like my home and like that sort of thing. But Instagram's a funny one because I don't really have many of my friends on I call it my work Instagram, but it's not. I've got my personal Instagram and then I set up an Instagram for my UGC. I think it's called UGC Creator Elise or something like that. And I've got like 1,500 followers on there, which I'm quite impressed with, to be fair. But considering the last year, I've hardly posted on it. It's kind of stayed there at 1,500. And for me, I would love to grow that organically and with content that actually feels real to me because my UGC stuff, I love it. But I haven't really posted about my UGC stuff that often. Fiverr is usually my go-to when it comes to my income for UGC. And then also I have some really great like retainer clients off of any UGC platform. So for me, I love my work. I love what I'm doing right now. That's all great. But I want my Instagram to kind of feel a bit more authentic to me. So I'm trying to find my, how do I say, my style, I guess. Like I love the editing styles at the moment that are a bit funky. They're like really cool. It's like pop out things and they're just a bit different. I really like that style. So I might hone in on that a little bit more for this year. But again, it's just I need to put the time and energy and effort. So this is me right now taking accountability and being my own accountability partner into actually sticking to my content and putting in the time, energy, and effort because you need to, at least. I'm talking to myself right now. It sounds crazy, but I feel like sometimes we've got to do what we've got to do to get things done. If you have any New Year's resolutions or anything that you're focusing on this year, let me know. Please put them in the comments. I'd love to, give you a routing from my side of the couch because I feel like people do give a lot of pressure on themselves when it comes to New Year's resolutions. So mine this year aren't like specific goals, but kind of things like I want to fully do the splits. So I've been stretching a lot at the moment and I'm wanting to increase my cardiovascular exercise. So that's like proper getting a sweat on because I feel like over Christmas, don't get me wrong, I was walking quite a lot and I was going to the gym and stuff, but that was just weightlifting, whereas I wasn't really sweating and running and or doing a hit workout and that sort of thing. And I love that sort of stuff. I love like sweating and I feel like I've done a proper workout. So my mum's boyfriend actually got me a weighted skipping rope and for I think the 31st of December and the 1st of Jan. Did I do it yesterday? I think I did do it yesterday as well. So that's 3 days in a row. I wanted to do 10 minutes of skipping every single day for the whole of Jan, just to see how I feel, how it's going to go. And for the first like 5 minutes, I was struggling. It was a real struggle. But after that, I was getting in the groove and like I was really feeling it. And I wasn't sweating as much on day one as I was on day three. Now, the only thing that has absolutely ruined my legs, meaning that I had to take a break today because they hurt so much, is my calves. Now, if you've done skipping at all, I can't believe how much it's actually affected my calves. Like I can hardly walk today and my calves never usually hurt, but like I never usually do skipping. So I feel like that must be it, right? So today I've had to take a bit of a break. I have gone for a nice long hour walk with my friend in the forest. But in terms of jumping around, I feel like I need to listen to my body. And when it needs a rest, it needs a rest. So what I should have done was really like gradually increase it. So like go 2 minutes a day, 3 minutes a day, 4 minutes a day, 5, 6, 7, 8, and not just go straight in for the 10 minutes a day. Because yes, I can skip for like 1 or 2 minutes, but 10 minutes was probably quite a lot. It was quite a big goal that I set myself. And I haven't damaged myself and my legs, but I could have easily have done with not going too hard and then I wouldn't have to rest for a full day because they definitely need the rest. A little tea break. Yeah, so the splits, skipping or cardiovascular sort of workouts like running and hit workouts and things, those are kind of main goals for like January, February time. So I kind of want to do the splits before then and I am going to do a full kind of YouTube documentation of that and hope that I do get there, kind of following along that journey as well. Because I was going to do that on TikTok and then I thought, nah, I'm going to keep the TikTok to my home stuff for now and then maybe do my journeys on YouTube because I prefer longer form content. So that's my goals, that's my plans. And then yeah, nothing too crazy. I feel like this year I've got my sister's wedding. I've got, other things to look forward to, like my sister's hen do. We're going to Nashville, which I can't wait for. And we're going there in May. So that's really fun. We're going there for a whole week. So it's going to be absolute carnage. There's like 12 of us. So I'm trying to plan that as well. So there's lots of things going on in terms of planning for my sister's wedding. And then I also think me and Nathan will choose a wedding venue this year. I feel like we're going to pick the perfect one. I feel like we'll have quite a lot of viewings, maybe in the UK and maybe abroad as well. Maybe. So that's going to be really exciting too. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on for my 2026. Now, one thing that I will talk about that I really want to talk about is Stranger Things. Now, if you haven't seen season 5 of Stranger Things, I would turn this off right now because there probably will be some spoilers because I do want to talk about it. And I love Stranger Things. I've loved it since the first day it came out on season 1. I love anything kind of sci-fi related and the fact that it's like kind of set in the 80s. I love the vibe. It was really cool and it intrigued me. I love things that are quite kind of thriller, psychological thrillers, but also like sci-fi. And yeah, for me, it all mixes into one. I absolutely love it. And there's going to be mixed feelings about the season 5 and volume 1, which is season 5, episode 1 to 4. So it's like the first half. Volume 1 was amazing. And that very last episode of Will, I won't talk about it too much just in case people want to see it and they still want to listen. But I thought that was incredible. That was probably like the highlight of the whole season and actually the whole series for me, because it was such a big thing to have happened. And then we went into the other episodes, which I was really looking forward to. So episodes 5, 6, and 7. And they were okay. But like everyone else was saying on the internet, I was really confused. I thought everything was a bit staggered. It was a bit confusing. It didn't look like it all gelled together like right, if that makes sense. And I found like I kept pausing it because in my mind I was thinking we're going to have like an hour and a half's worth on each episode, but no, each episode was like an hour long. So we would get 20 minutes in and I would pause it and I'm like, oh, we've only got 40 minutes left. Like, and I really didn't want that to happen. I just didn't want it to end, basically. I'm a diehard Stranger Things fan. Like, what can I say? But we found out a lot of things and they were tying up loose ends, which was great. But I did find the kind of filming and everything a little bit confusing, and it was jumping from one scene to there was too many scenes going on, basically, I thought. And then the finale. Now, the finale obviously only came out a few days ago. So if you haven't watched it yet, please go and watch it because it's amazing. I really liked it. And some people are going to say they didn't like it and whatnot. I really liked it. It was 2 hours long. They basically gave us a film, right? And there was a lot of theories that fans had that did come true, some that I thought about as well. And I loved it. I really loved it. I thought it brought it to a close. I did find though that they had like the big fight and the big like last battle type thing over within the first hour. So then basically the second hour was just the dialogue between the characters, kind of tying up loose ends and it being a bit like happy and saying their goodbyes and moving out of the town and stuff. So it wasn't something that I was expecting. I was expecting more of a battle. I was expecting more twists and turns, that sort of thing. And it wasn't really like that, but I still thought it was really good and I really enjoyed it. Now, a lot of fans are listening into the radio station. I think you can listen to like the Squawk radio station and stuff. And apparently there's like some clues in there and fans are basically saying that they think there might be another episode coming out maybe on the 7th of Jan. Now, whether or not that is true, I don't know. But apparently there's a clock on Instagram, Netflix Instagram or Stranger Things Instagram or something like that. That's like pointing towards a 7 and a 1 to kind of be like the 7th of January, something like that. I mean, the most amazing thing would be that there is another episode and what we watched the finale wasn't actually the finale, and that there's actually a third, the actual final, which people are basically saying that we're trapped in Mike's mind and that's how Mike is perceiving what's happened, whereas it's actually a totally different form of events. I mean, it's pretty far-fetched actually as theories go, but I think either fans have got it spot on and they are so smart and the Duffer Brothers are incredible writers and they've done amazing, or people are just kind of clutching at straws a little bit and they just want to carry on the Stranger Things excitement. I mean, that's me. Like deep down, I'm like, please let there be another episode, because if there is, I will be so happy. Because since the finale, I've been a bit like, what am I supposed to do with myself? I've got nothing TV wise to look forward to. I'm the type of person that if I love a series, I'm all for it. But afterwards, I'll like just, if I haven't got a TV series to focus on, basically, I do procrastinate a lot. But then saying that, if I have a TV series to watch, I just watch that. So I procrastinate more as well. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't win either way, basically. But I just like watching something that sparks my interest and makes me really feel attached to it. And Stranger Things was that. I was attached to the characters. I loved the storyline. I loved the twists and turns. It was an absolute incredible series. And if it finishes right now and there's no more episodes and no more anything, I would be quite happy. And, you know, I would rewatch the whole series again from season 1 to season 5 and I would be a happy person because it is incredible. I just love fantasy and sci-fi and twists and turns and sometimes darkness, but then there's the light and then there's battles. And yeah, I absolutely love all that. So if there's any other series that is similar to Stranger Things or Game of Thrones or that sort of thing, let me know, because I need something new to watch, and something preferably that's either on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Paramount, or Now TV or anything like that that you'd have to pay an extra service for. If anyone does have any suggestions, please let me know, because I do need something else to watch. But yeah, that was just a quick little catch up for 2026. I just wanted to run through a little bit about what I'm looking forward to for 2026. Hopefully, you're going to have the best year ever and all your manifestations are going to come true. If you haven't done so already, then you need to write yourself a future letter. If you haven't watched my previous episode, please go back and listen and watch that. But basically, writing a future letter to yourself and describing the whole year. So you're basically describing 2026 in the present moment as if it's already happened and your future self is reading it at the end of 2026. So please do that if you haven't done it yet, because I did mine on the 31st of December. And yeah, I've now signed, actually, it's right here. Let me grab it. Oh, that's Nathan's one. This one's mine. So don't open until the 31st of December 2026. And that's my 2025 letter. And this one was my 2024 letter. And I will tell you now, the whole first page came true. Just, and the stuff on the second half hasn't come true entirely, but has in other ways, if that kind of makes sense. Like, I'm building myself up to it, and it's not happened right this second, but I've got the building blocks to get there for this year. So yeah, it's really interesting. And I did say on there, oh, I bet you're sitting on your lovely cream couch. We hadn't had this couch yet, but I said in the letter, I bet you're sitting on your cream couch in your new home, drinking a glass of bubbly. And guess what? That's exactly what I was doing when I was reading the letter. So yeah, if you be specific, it's really interesting to see what comes true. If you haven't done that, go do that. It's really fun. And it's a really nice thing to look back on in a year's time, just to see what's come true or not. And even if nothing comes true, which I'm sure it will come true, because you're basically writing it into existence, but you'll know for the following year what you want to focus on again, if that means something to you still, if those goals kind of align. It's something really fun. I love it, and I hope you do too. And yeah, happy new year. I hope you had the best Christmas. I wish you all the happiness in the world and the best start to 2026. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you next time.